Hello everyone! Today I've got Jesse with me and I'm going to show you how to start building Frontierland. And as usual, I'm going to begin with the entrance from the hub. Now, you've already seen me do this multiple times in this series, so to save time, I've already placed the trigger area and the locator and the toy box store that we'll need. So the locator is out here on the bridge, and I kind of place that there, as you can see. And we're going to set the properties on the locator to set the door destination tag to 4. So the one over at Fantasyland was number 1, Tomorrowland was number 2, the one over here at Adventureland was 3, this will be number 4. The trigger area is positioned over top of the gate, as you can see. And then the toy box store is down below the terrain. And we'll edit the properties for this. Change the destination to do a new toy box. A new empty toy box. And we're going to set the level name to be Frontierland. And I'm typing that in on my Wii U screen. Here we go. We'll save. That creates the toy box and links it. And the rest of those properties are all fine. And then all we have to do, as you've seen before, is go to the trigger area, new logic connection, when entered by player, any. Go down to our toy box store. Oops, and change the level. And that's it. So at this point, I'm going to save my toy box, and then I'm going to go through that door, and I'll meet you in our new Frontierland toy box in just a moment. Okay, here we are in our new empty toy box, and all I've done so far is place my Danville Sky power disc on the Disney Infinity base to set the sky, and I've placed a boombox over here to turn off the music. And by the way, if you're wondering what music I recommend for this particular toy box, if you go into the boombox properties, under music, go to the whimsical category, and Jessie is the theme. It's just a very nice, relaxed, Western type theme that works perfectly for this. And I like that. Alright, so now that we've addressed the music, let's go ahead and move this below the terrain. Now the orientation of the toy box, we come in by default looking in that direction. And behind us is the city with the roller coaster rides and stuff back there. And since we're out on the western edge of Disneyland, and most of the park is behind us, we're going to go ahead and build out in that direction, the direction we're facing when we first come into this toy box. And for this first piece of terrain, I'm going to go ahead and style this to use the Carburetor County theme. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply that for right now. All right. And then let's go back to the terrain drawer, and we're going to put a spacer in here. And by the way, for the rest of this episode, I'm going to focus on building the entrance to Frontierland on this side of the gate. So this is going to be where we come in from the park, from the Toy Box Hub. And once again, I want to mirror what I've built in the hub so that it looks like this is just a continuation of what we saw in the hub. It's what's beyond that wooden fort wall. Disneyland is one big park, and I want to capture that feeling here. And even though I have to break the park up into separate toy boxes, I want the different areas to look like they all connect and fit together. And so that's the goal of what I'm doing here. So we're going to come down to this small flat terrain block. We're going to put this in right next to our spacer. And for the theme on this, we're going to use Toy Box Terrain. I'm going to go ahead and set that to be my theme. And let me pull up my screen grabs here. Just want to make sure. All right, I'm going to pick up this block and I want to rotate it like that. So the Infinity logo is readable. It says IN on the terrain. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but that might be a little bit easier. So that's the orientation that I want for this block. So let me pick up that block again, and we're going to put 3 of these down right here. This is the entrance for Frontierland. We can take this spacer out. We're done with that at this point. All right, so let's mirror what we have over in the hub. So if we go to Building Sets Group 3, these are the fort pieces. Again, these come from the Toy Box Takeover playset, Toy Box game. And if you don't have that, I already kind of talked about what to use in place of that in the video where we built this over in the hub. So you can recommend, or you can go and review that video. But what I just want to do here is mirror what we have over in the hub. Now we'll put this little base in here, and I think it's the small one. Yeah, that's what we're going to put in there. That's what we'll put over here. So this is the base for our stockade fence. All right. And then we're going to add a second level for that. Oops. And if you're using the alternative that I recommended, because you don't have these pieces, I believe that's the Ewok fence pieces, you're just going to mirror or build what you have over in the hub. And that's the key thing to remember here. Alright, and already I'm seeing an issue. This is too far. Sorry about that. I'm just going to move this over. Okay, we can take these out. Alright, so there is the wall coming in. So again, this is just a continuation of what you see. You only see this side of it from the hub. And of course, you can't see the hub through there because I don't have the memory to build that in this toy box. But you're going to see everything else going out that direction. Alright, so let's place some of the buildings for the town at the entrance here. And I'm going to use, I think, just to save memory, let's use these blocks. Because the terrain takes up less memory than the blocks in the blocks drawer, for whatever reason. I'm going to place these 2 blocks here on this middle block, like that. Those are going to be our positioning helpers. And then we go up to these buildings drawer. And if we go to the right, it's probably the fastest way to get there. It's probably the same either way. Alright, so the first buildings here. This is not it. That's not it. Nope. Nope. I have to find the right building. Nope. Nope. Of course, it's the last one. All right, so we're going to line that up with the front edge of that block like that. And we'll drop it. And there it is. The next building is going to be the rooming house. That's going to sit right next to that. Like so. Alright, let's go. Probably quicker just to take this little block and pick it up. Bring it over. And we're going to switch over to this block. And we're going to line this up with the front edge of that building and move it just a half a block out to the left. So one little nudge to the left, just like that. So if you look at this, it's half a block out away from the front edge of that building. All right. And then back to the set pieces, or to the buildings drawer rather. And we're looking for the stables. And the stables are going to sit right in here like that. So right up against that little spacer block and against the other building. That's where the stables will go. And we can take that spacer out. So that's where that goes. And let's pick this little piece up, put it back. And we're going to put one of these in here as a spacer. And then back to the buildings drawer. And this time we're looking for the bank. That's going to sit in here like that. And then the last building here is the saloon. This will sit up on the front like that. Alright, so there is that side of town. On this side of town, the first building that we're going to put in, let's see. It's not that one. Finding these, there it is, that's the one. The hardware store. We'll put that right here, like so. And that's all we're going to do on that side of the street for this episode. Okay, let's pick up this little spacer here. And at this point, we're going to bring this over to the front corner of this building. We're just going to put one of those down. All right. And then I need to move this start pad. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to push it that way. And we'll drop this right like that. Perfect. All right. I'll get back to my screen grab here where I was. And then we're going to go to the plants drawer. We're going to add some plants for the center of this area. So we're going to flip this piece around. We're going to go up to the edge of that block and go over one little nudge. So half a block to the right, past that spacer. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and set the theme on this to be the Colby theme. And I'll set that to be my theme. Because I believe the bounding box on these does not have any issues. And then we'll put this little one in here like that. And I will set the theme on this to be the Colby theme as well. All right, and then we'll pick this little piece up, come over here. I'm going to line it up with the seam down the middle of those pieces, and we're going to put 2 of these in here like that. All right. And then back to our terrain. This piece will sit in here, and again, I meant to set the theme on that. Must have just applied it. There we are. And we don't want this to look identical to the other little plant clusters that we added. So we'll switch this one around a little bit. Like that. And we'll take those out. All right. So that's looking pretty good. Now we're going to put another one of these over here. We're going to change the theme on this in a minute. Actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. This will make it easier, I think, if we put it back to the default. So I'm going to set that to be my theme. And we're going to place another one right over here. And flip this around like so. We can take that little block out. And I'll set the theme on these in a minute because the bounding box on these will get messed up if I set that to be my theme. And plus I want you to see which pieces I'm using here and where they sit. Alright, so this one will sit in here like that. This one is going to sit in here like this. Yep. Going to place another one of these in here like that. And again, let's change the theme back on this because this is not going to be the final version of that. I'll set that to be my theme. Okay. And then over here, we'll place a few extra plants. So this one, we're going to go 2 nudges this way, 2 nudges that way. All right. This one's going to sit in here like this and like that. And normally I would place all of these ahead of time or offline and just show you the end result, but since there's only a few of them we're putting in here today, I'll just go ahead and place them. And this one is going to sit in here like this. To the right just a bit. There we go, just like that. And the placement of that is kind of important because as you're looking through the stables, it's blocking the view. So you're not going to see some of the build weirdness with that, where you see some floating pieces later. Alright, this one is going to sit in here like this. We're going to put another one over here like that. And one more plant for today. This one we're going to place in here with the red flower positioned like that. All right. Yeah, I know. I got to upgrade her. All right, let's go ahead and style these. And for many of these, we're going to use the Endor theme. It's just a very nice tall tree, which does kind of have a western look because you see a lot of these pines and stuff out in the west. These we will change also. This one we're going to wait to style, because if we style that now, it'll mess up the shooting gallery that we still have to put in. This one will also use the Endor theme. Alright, and for the rest of these in the back, these are going to use the Sleeping Beauty theme. This is providing the backdrop that's going to kind of hide the edge of the world here. And it's probably better to do all of these at the same time so I don't have to keep scrolling. This one will be Briar Ridge. And this one will, these two will be Briar Ridge also, but I'm going to wait on those because that's going to get in the way of some of the other things we need to build with the town as we go in that direction. Alright, some additional little details here. Back to the terrain drawer, and I'm looking for the wide rock terrain blend. We're going to put a nice little seam on here, just so this doesn't look so abrupt. And I'm going to change this to be the Carburetor County. I'll set that to be my theme. I'm just going to run this across like that. And up to the decorations drawer. Reset that drawer on me. If we go left, I got to get past all of these things from the Finding Dory playset. But it's not long before you come to the Lone Ranger pieces. And we're looking for the wagon. I had this in the original entrance. You saw this from the hub, so I want to make sure I put this in here as well. Trying to get to the screenshot that shows how I oriented it. Right, so I put it in that way. This sits in right over here like that. It's just a nice, another little decoration that lets you know you're in the west. So that's a good thing. All right, that's looking really good. One last thing we will do before we finish for today. Let's put the toy box door in to take us back to the hub. So under gameplay toys, if we go back here to the left, to the toy box door, and drop this down below. We're going to go ahead and put this in here. I'm going to put this over the entrance like that. Go down to the door, to the properties. The destination by default is the original toy box, which is Main Street, USA. So we're going to leave that. So there's no properties we need to set. We just need to link up this trigger area to that door. So on the trigger area, a new logic connection when entered by player any. Go down to the door and change the level. And oops, on the properties, there is one thing we got to change on that door. We got to set the locator tag to 4. Sorry, that's spinning the camera around. I don't know why it does that. It's one of those weird glitches in Disney Infinity. But now we can go back to the hub. And of course, before you do that, at this point, you want to save your game. But I think this is a good stopping point for today. Next time, we'll build the Frontierland shooting gallery over here, and we'll do both the build and the logic for it. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank all of you who've told me that you're following along with me and building Disneyland on your own systems. I'm glad you're enjoying this toy box and this series. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you like Disney Infinity, don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you go. All you have to do is click my photo in the lower right corner of this video. That's all for me today. See you next time.